This is Stephen Alexander for another BSFS Scooby-Doo comic book review. You solved this crime! You get a Scooby snack! Woof. Longtime friend of the show, Bill McCormick, has been a prolific comic book writer for the past several years. Today he sent me 2 comics that I'm going to tell you about. Thanks, Bill! But I can only show you scenes from one of the 2 comics because Jungle Girls is straight up adult only. Thanks, Bill. So, we're treated to a spoof of Scooby-Doo. Only this time, Shaggy's the field leader and they ain't taking prisoners. Ruh-roh indeed. I wonder if DC Comics knows about this. Anyway, it seems the long-running jokes about Scooby-Doo come true in this hilarious comic. They appear to be a group of paid activists turned vigilantes with an unseen leader, like Charlie from Charlie's Angels or something. Anyway, they get a lead and investigate the Wonderland Ripper, which means they have to split up with Dum Dum Doris going with the Shaggy Dude and Scoozy the dog, while Wilma and Dandy take the other direction. Can they catch this dangerous threat, or will the Wonderland Ripper be too much for this armed band? My recommendation. It's funny and the art is pretty good. They play to all the famous jokes about the old cartoon which I loved as a kid. If you've seen any Scooby-Doo besides the terrible movie, then you'll like this comic. I just wish it was a little longer and had a few more jokes. I'm not giving it a score because I have no idea where to get this comic. It was written by Bill and drawn by Maku Tellas, a Glyph Award winner. This gives it a pretty good pedigree. But I mean, if you're so interested in it, well, you should be. You can go to Bill McCormick's website and ask him yourself. I'll include the website link down below. No, I am not giving you his phone number or address. He's had enough crank call pizza deliveries this year. Looking at you, Mr. Hayashi. Anyway, we move on to a recently completed Kickstarter, Concrete Comics and their Kickstarter release, Akolyte. They're rocking the blue Marvel look this year with a touch of Spectre. Like Spectre, he might be the universe heavy hitter, but we need an origin story first. Like any superhero origin story, Akolyte number 1 checks many of the tired trope boxes, so let's go over them. Reluctant hero, obtuse mentor, hidden power, training by fighting, mysterious tragic backstory that's hinted, people introducing themselves with big letters, and of course, scantily clad villain entrance. Yep, that's 3/4 of the boxes. All we need now is a dead Uncle Ben. My recommendation. The art style reminds me of some early 90s pre-digital Silver Surfer comics. It looks spacey, wide open, and fast in scale, yet dark and nostalgic at the same time. The cover looks much more modern, but the narration boxes and general backgrounding feel very much like a Marvel Cosmic Era comic. I think Jim Starlin would be proud. As far as the story goes, Concrete has a few other comics which indicates an expanded universe, but it feels somewhat simplistic and not as layered as Niobe and other comics. It's a comic for older kids and teens, not so much for adults, even though they're probably the biggest reader of comics these days. So I worry that it might not appeal much to them, even though the hero appears more adult than most heroes. He looks late 20s, early 30s. Hey, Uncle B can still have adventures. Even if his back's a little bad, his credit score is under 500, and his wife doesn't like the way he smells after exercising. You can get their comics at the link in the description below. Finally, we have Realmz number 1 by a longtime fan of the show, Anthony Moore. Limitless Comics made it in just at the deadline, and I'm glad they did. It's a pretty cool comic that's heavy in mysticism and godly battles. You can get a copy by not sure yet. I'll leave a link to his Kickstarter page down below. You can message him there after you sign up. He told me recently that he can reorder prints. I have the digital, not the print. Got any ideas, suggestions, or complaints? Well, you don't have any complaints? Regardless, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember that enjoyable comics are like the atmosphere. They surround you. You just have to reach out and grab one. See ya!